Inside a dark room, a rapid-fire cascade of phone screens creates a disorienting strobe effect. Each flash represents a metric of engagement, part of an economy that provides direct financial rewards to those willing to push digital behavior to its absolute edge. For 47-year-old Brian Johnson, known to millions as the Liver King, that engagement is a career. His livelihood is built on an aggressive, hyper-masculine persona, a self-styled evolutionary hunter designed to command attention through sheer intensity. To sustain his brand, Johnson eventually targeted podcast host Joe Rogan, launching a series of digital callouts aimed at the media giant's massive audience. The stunt moved from the screen to the real world when Johnson traveled to Austin, Texas. He posted a video from the Capitol, declaring man-to-man that he was there to pick a fight with Rogan. The constant incentive to escalate creates a self-sustaining loop. It reaches a point where a creator can no longer reliably distinguish a harmless digital stunt from a credible physical threat. The situation turned into a police matter when Johnson revealed his props. Along with his digital threats, he was seen in Austin carrying this, a literal medieval battle axe. He also possessed a black box bearing a Joe Rogan Experience sticker. While Johnson was secretive about the contents, his team later claimed it held 2 custom staccato pistols, intended as gifts for his target. This diagram shows the path from a social media stunt to a criminal investigation. Under Texas law, a terroristic threat is defined by the objective capacity to cause fear of imminent bodily injury, regardless of the creator's viral intentions. When threats of picking a fight are combined with the transport of axes and firearms to a target's location, the situation crosses the threshold from content creation to a felony offense. The law evaluates physical capacity for violence. By treating manufactured props as genuine evidence of intent, the state effectively traps the influencer in the very narrative they scripted. The Austin Police Department's Violent Crimes Task Force located Johnson at his hotel, moving to intercept him before he could reach Rogan's studio. To manage a suspect who thrives on attention, officers arrived covertly in plain clothes. They intentionally denied Johnson the dramatic uniformed arrest footage that would have fueled his content strategy. Even while being detained, Johnson remained focused on the camera. He insisted on praying with his team for the benefit of his followers, and demanded they livestream the entire encounter. Handcuffed and facing a felony charge, Johnson's main concern was his schedule. He complained to the arresting officers that Tuesday was the day he normally transacts with the outside world, worrying about his missed uploads. By refusing to provide a violent spectacle, law enforcement pulled Johnson out of his algorithmic fantasy into the rigid environment of a legal processing center. The disconnect became more apparent in the interrogation room, where a detective formally read Johnson his Miranda rights. When asked to surrender his phone, Johnson engaged in a petty semantic debate. He questioned the detective's polite phrasing, treating a police demand like a negotiation over brand assets. Left alone in the room, Johnson revealed the depth of his commitment to the bit. He pulled out a hidden backup phone and began secretly recording his own audio, narrating the arrest to himself. He spoke about the terroristic threat charge as a mere adventure, a way to collect more points and find novelty while doing squats in a jail cell. But the reality of the situation was far more one-sided. Joe Rogan told police he had never met Johnson, had no idea why he was being targeted, and viewed the influencer as significantly unstable. The encounter revealed a parasocial delusion, a narrative that fell apart the moment it met the reality of the person on the other side. The immediate result of Johnson's adventure was a formal booking, a mugshot, and the requirement to post a $20,000 bond for his release. As a condition of that bond, the state replaced his persona with a physical tracking device. Johnson was ordered to wear a GPS ankle monitor to surveil his every movement. He was also served with a protective order, legally barring him from coming within 200 yards of Joe Rogan or his family. In a video posted after his release, the absurdity of the plan became clear. Johnson mistakenly warned his followers to keep him away from actor Seth Rogen instead of his original target. The search for digital points resulted in a genuine loss of autonomy. The state's surveillance apparatus operates on rules that the influencer's audience cannot influence or change. The legal case ended months later. The charges were dismissed, but only after Johnson completed a series of state-mandated counseling classes. The fantasy of a grand clash between alpha males concluded with the reality of attending court-ordered therapy sessions. The modern attention economy encourages creators to blur the lines of public safety for clout, but the legal system does not recognize a digital persona as a defense. When you script a crime for content, the real world will eventually force you to serve the consequences in reality.